media as camouflage. It's kind of like a beast, or like a chameleon that blends in with the background. It takes on the spots or the stripes of its background to appear harmless, so people don't notice it, and they're lulled into a sense of security. And the spots and the stripes of this beast are actually the mainstream media, the ever-shifting patterns that are played before us to give us the impression that nothing is happening. But of course, this beast has claws, and the claws are the many agents working in networks, such as the Freemasons and also Common Purpose, which Brian has discussed. The brain of this beast seems to be the collective decision-making process taking place at meetings such as the Bilderberg meeting and the CFR, Council of Foreign Relationship meetings. And the heart of this beast seems to be dedicated, unfortunately, to Luciferianism or Satanism and occultism, whatever you want to call it, but to darkness and destruction. This is a very ugly creature, and it knows it's very, very ugly. It's a dangerous creature for us, and it knows that it's dangerous for us, and it needs to be able to present itself as harmless, to deceive us in order to capture us because we are its prey. These predators, or this predator, is very adept at disguise, at deceit, at telling lies, to lull us, the victims, into false sense of security. It has mastered the most sophisticated techniques of propaganda and mind control using the media, and most people, or a lot of people, still haven't quite noticed it. This beast can best be characterized by what Nietzsche called a willed power, an instinct, an appetite, a desire for more, ever more control, power, kicks, whatever. And these appetites set the goal, and then the will to power and rational calculations are activated to remove the obstacles to that goal. The act of removing the obstacles bit by bit actually gives these people, I believe, the feeling that they're alive. They become aware of themselves when they're busy thinking and calculating how they can get more control over us, you know. And I think this really is a beast we're dealing with, and it's kind of like the dragon we used to read about in fairy tales. We now can see it moving towards us with the swine flu vaccinations, which could become forced vaccinations even here in the UK and in other countries in the USA. We can see it moving towards us with this carbon tax, with this EU totalitarian police state, and with famine and wars. And it's been wounded by blows delivered by the independent media, but it is still coming at us with an uneven but determined way. And the problem with this beast it doesn't know what else to do. Its existence is based on the will to power, and it knows no other way of living than by seeking ever more power over others, and an act that is inherent, necessarily violent, and is going to result in our deaths, basically. And just like in the fairy tales of old, I think the time has come for us to go out there and slay that dragon. I don't think we can wait that much longer. Time, I think, is running out for us. With the Lisbon Treaty coming into force at the beginning of December, with the vaccination programs continuing, albeit at a very slow rate, much slower than they hoped, with the carbon taxes and the Copenhagen Treaty about to destroy our economies, I don't think we have years or even 2 years. I think we have a very short window of opportunity of maybe months to stop this. And I think to stop this, we're going to have to cultivate the old-fashioned virtues of the hero in the fairy tale. We're just going to have to get up on our horses, get out our swords, and go up to the beast, confront it, and simply slay it. Now, the act of killing this beast need not require actual physical weapons, but it will require us to be determined and to use our intelligence. This beast lives and breathes the oxygen of deceit, and we have to deprive it of that oxygen by spreading facts, evidence, and truth. This is an information war. Information is related to knowledge, and this revolution is in fact a knowledge revolution. It will be one if the circle of knowledge is expanded, and it will be one if every one of us expands our circle of knowledge. And if we spread that knowledge to other people, our understanding of the world at the moment is in inverse proportion to our consumption of the mainstream media. And the collection of reports that appear in the mainstream media are just there to create an artificial public consensus that suits the purposes of the beast. And the alternative media is not necessarily much better, just as the right-left political paradigm in the political or in politics is a false paradigm. The mainstream alternative media is also, to some extent, a false paradigm. What we really need to seek is the independent media, which offers objective facts and solid information. It's up to us then to use our judgment and decide, what do we believe in? What do we think is the truth? How do we, what do we believe is going on in our world? What is shaping our lives? And what are we going to do about it? And nobody can take that responsibility from each one of us. And the more knowledge we have, the more skills we have in reasoning and thinking, the better we'll be able to cope in this information war. We, I think, have to not only think about slaying this beast in the next few weeks, we have to think about what's coming after this. What kind of a future do we want? What kind of a society do we want to live in, and how are we going to achieve it? What are the practical, concrete steps that we're going to undertake to make this society a reality? We've all heard about revolutions turning into bloody, violent affairs in history as they've been hijacked by the very forces that we thought we had ejected from power. This must not be allowed to happen again. And the only guarantee for it not happening again is if every single person says, from now on, I'm not going to give my responsibility to elected officials or even to experts. I'm going to participate in the political process myself. I'm going to make the decisions about how the money is going to be spent in our community, how we're going to, whether we're going to install renewable energy, what kind of food we're going to grow, what kind of an economic little microsphere we're going to have in our community. This actually works very, very well in Switzerland. Switzerland is one of the few countries where there is still direct democracy at local level. People gather in places like this, and somebody comes along and says, we've got so and so much money, and these are the proposals for how we are going to spend it, and then people discuss and debate how their money is going to be spent in their community. And actually it turns out to be extremely efficient. The communities are on the whole very well run, and there's very little corruption. Then people are elected to go into the parliament, and they're local people. They're people the Swiss know who are living in the house next door, or the teacher in the school, and these people remain in the community even while they're serving their terms in the parliament. And there are lots of instruments for people to get information at a local level and federal information. They can ask questions and the government is obliged to give an answer. And I think we need to go back to this model myself. I think we need to get more local about our decision-making process, and everybody has to start getting involved again in figuring out what's going to happen with their communities. I also think that we need to link up with people in the USA, in Europe, in Latin America, in Africa, and in Asia, and start a really genuine grassroots revolutionary movement in the next few months. That we're fighting an international corporate crime syndicate, and we can only do this effectively if we join forces across the whole globe. Indeed, we have a great opportunity. We have an opportunity to found a really peaceful, prosperous new era if we work together. I believe, we can't know what the outcome is going to be of our efforts. We don't know what's going to happen in a week or 2 weeks' time. We don't know if a nuclear bomb is going to go off or what factors